Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. I am beyond thrilled to welcome 2024 with a brand new sew along. This week we will be sewing together the Knotted Thread Rosie sling. It is the pattern that converted me to being the I am not the sling wearer kind of girl to I must have the Rosie at the park with me all the times. I don't know what it is about this pattern, but it made me sling girly. So I really hope you're joining me. I've missed you all so much, and I am so thrilled to be starting off 2024 with such an amazing pattern. This sew along will be hosted in the Backstitch backroom. This is brought to you by Backstitch Prints. So I am going to be posting the daily video links in the Backstitch backroom. Everything will be linked in the description below, and you'll be doing your check-in for daily progress as well as your final day check-in for the prize in the Backstitch backroom. But all the videos will be posted here on my channel, and they will remain here even if you want to view them after the sew along ends. I do not delete them from the channel. So without further ado, let's get into the first day of the sew along, which as always is cutting and prepping your pattern pieces. Let's get started. So we're going to start by cutting our pattern pieces, and for this sew along I'm going to be using this gorgeous Backstitch Prints jelly vinyl. This is their printed jelly vinyl. It's actually my first time using a printed jelly, so I am very thrilled to try it out. So I'm going to be using the panel for the front pocket and the main for the back, and I have a stripe coordinate that I'm going to be using it for the middle panel. So very important for me with this pattern is that you add all the markings and you pay attention to the direction of the print as well as how your your pattern pieces are lying on the pattern. So in this case I love that I have a little box here so I can see the inside, and I'm going to try to center it as best as I can, and there you go. We'll just cut along the outer line. Do not cut the notches, and I will show you what I did with the notches, because you want to have them there but you don't want to cut them. So what I did is I simply snipped a little bit on the side, on both sides, and then I just fold them in. So this way when I put my markings on the panel I will be able to do the marking, but I did not lose this little piece. So I do that for all the patterns that require a piece that does double duty. So we have one panel. You do want to put your markings. I tend to put my markings after I do my fusing of the fleece, because they will disappear, so I might as well just put them only once after I fuse my fleece. And I like to separate my pile of pattern into lining or main, and just lining and just interfacing, so I do it like in a somewhat organized way. So this one will go to the lining pile, and then we're going to grab the exterior back panel. And this one does have some measurements on it, so I'm going to try to cover them for privacy reasons. And I'm going to be using the main for the back panel. Let me see if I can grab some pattern weights. I absolutely adore how Shannon included the measurements on the panel piece, on the printed panel piece, so this way I don't have to go back and forth between all the pieces and the tutorial. So I have everything right here. Don't forget to put your notches. So I like to do a little bit of a snip where the notches are on all patterns that require it. And this goes in my pile for lining. Excuse my cat, who apparently wants to be a star. Let's do the bottom gusset, because I want the bottom gusset to be out of the main print as well. And by the way, this print is available in retail, so go score. Retail is happening today, I believe. So go get yourself some gorgeous printed jelly vinyl in this adorable print. This is really not a difficult pattern, but it is a skill building pattern, which is one of my favorite things about Shannon's pattern. I learned so much, so many amazing techniques that I can use afterwards for other patterns and other sewing adventures. So again, this one goes in the lining pile. We do have a middle panel, but that one I'm going to do with the stripe. I'm going to do the anchor of the back with the stripe as well. We do have these two pieces that I do want to talk a little bit about. And we also have the rectangle ring and the accent for the connector for the hook. So, very important. And if you take anything away from this sew along, is what I'm about to tell you right now. Highly important is that when you cut your pieces for the zipper panel, you add your notches. Do not skip the notches, please. If you do anything, this is what you need to do. You need to make sure you add your notches to the panel, because I've done that mistake before. On my first Rosie, I did not add the notches, and I mixed up my front and back panel, zipper panel lining. So I put the correct way on the main and I switched the lining, and it was a hot mess. So please learn from my mistake. Do not skip your notches. So you'll have two zipper panels, a back and a front, or I tend to call them a front and a back, but they're actually a back and a front, that have a notch. So the notch is where the zipper is. Make sure that you add your notch. Don't skip it, make it visible, put it in color writing. I don't know what you want to do to make sure you add it, but do it. That's the most important thing, if you ask me, with this pattern. So see, I've added a notch right here. This is the back panel, and we're going to cut the bottom right now, and the bottom has the notch at the top. So when you put them together, they match nicely. And there you go. So now you have your two zipper panels with their notches, one here and one here. Very important that you add your notches. Okay, and from the main we only have these accent pieces. So I'm going to cut this first, because this is easy. You're just going to, this is the connector piece. You do need to know that if you care about this, and I honestly do not, it's one piece that will be like this. So if you're using a directional print, just know that on the back it will be upside down. You won't see it because it will be on your back. You can put this toward the front so you can see it, but just something to be aware of. And last but not least, we're going to cut this. Oh, and it's perfect for this piece right here. So what I like to do for this piece, because I don't trust myself that much with the rotary cutter. I just cut a piece that's a little bigger than the connector, and I just draw it. And I draw around it, and then I simply cut it by hand. And there you go. It's nice and visible there. And I have a pair of high scissors that I like. And they're a little like round. The pointed tip is curved, not round. And I find that this one helps me cut this piece very easily. And I can go easily on the curve. If you have a cutting machine, like a Cricut or a Cameo, you can use that as well. I do have one, it's right here, but between setting it up and importing the files and prepping the thing, it's much faster to just cut this by hand. And there you have it. So I cut it by hand very quickly. You saw how it was done. And there you go. Super nice. This will be the end of your strap. And this completes the main. We just have the middle panel. So I'm going to use these stripes for the middle panel so that the panel actually pops, because the backing of the panel is the same as the main, so it will be cohesive, and this will make the panel pop. So we're going to use this right here. And again, don't forget to add your markings. On all sides. There you go. And last but not least, I have the anchor. And there you go. So this is it from the main. Actually, I do have a few pieces that are on the cutting chart that we're going to cut next, and then we'll move on to the lining and the interfacing. We'll need the two trims. The measurement for the two trims are in the pattern, both in the actual pattern and in the on that pattern piece. This is going to be so cute, so cute. Okay, the trim pieces are done. So my lining will have to be mixed and matched because I don't have enough of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bottom gusset from this lining and the slip pocket. The rest will be from a different water resistant canvas. Again, like I said before, we're using what we have. It's not going to be perfection, but it's going to work well together. It's going to be very nice and very pretty. and we're going to be proud of our work, right? So we are now done with this piece as well. There's one lining here. We're going to do the pocket. And because I'm using water-resistant canvas for the lining, I'm not going to be interfacing it. And for the binding, we'll see when we have to add the binding. I don't know yet which print I'm going to use for the binding, or if I do just a solid, maybe waterproof canvas. We'll see what we have left. Okay. And this also goes in the I don't need pile. And now for the other part, I'm going to use this also Backstitch prints. I think this was from the Marble Round. I think I used this one in a different sew along for the Christie, I think. So we're going to cut these like so. Make sure you put your markings. You have little notches. Yeah, I no longer need this one. For the pocket lining, if your print is going right side up, you need to make sure that you place your pocket lining piece right side down. This will have to go on the back of our panel, and you want to have wrong sides together, right? So make sure that either you flip this or you flip this, but you cannot flip both, and you cannot have both of them right side up. So your pattern piece needs to be right sides together with the lining. And again, I'm keeping these notches because we don't cut them out. We're just gonna mark them with a pen. The only one that I'm cutting is the little notch down there at the bottom center. Okay, so we are done with this one. Last but not least, the main and the two zipper panels. Okay, this is the back panel. You do not have to flip it. I'm flipping it just for privacy reasons for the cutting chart that's on the panel, but you do not have to flip it. It's the same panel. The only one that needs to be flipped is the pocket lining. Cut your notches, put a little snip, and the last pattern piece for the lining is the zipper panel, are the zipper panels. And again, make sure that you put your notches now, not later on, not when you're sewing it, because you're gonna forget. It is so important that you put your notches on these panels. Okay, this is the back zipper panel, so the notch is right here at the bottom. Okay. We are done with this. And now the top. Notch. Beautiful. So you have your lining pile right here, your patterns there. The only ones I still have to cut are the stabilizers. So you were working with fusible fleece. I'm going to be using Thermolam, and you also need a little bit of Decovillite, not too much. If you don't have Decovillite, you can use a couple of layers of SF101 or whatever your preferred woven interfacing is. That would work. Just put a couple of layers for added stability. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off camera and fuse them, and we will chat when we come back so this video doesn't become 5 hours long. See you in a few. Alright my friends, it is all cut, it is all interfaced. I will do a little run through so you know exactly what we're working with, and then we are ready to start sewing tomorrow. So you should have one interfaced front pocket. Make sure that you draw your notches. You should have a middle panel interfaced and then the little corner interfaced as well. You'll have a back panel interfaced, and you'll also have a Decovillite strip sandwiched in between. You might notice, look, I just noticed this, that jelly vinyl doesn't take that great to interfacing. So you can either use some spray adhesive to adhere or try a couple of times. If I've tried a couple of times or one of them and it eventually adhered, but it is jelly vinyl, so you'll have to try a little harder if you want to interface it with Thermolam. The Decovillite had no issue, but the Thermolam had a little bit of issue fusing to the jelly. I also did lower my heat to 275 instead of 310 that I usually use for vinyl interfacing, just because I was afraid it would melt, because it's like clear vinyl, this jelly. It's a lot more plastic than regular vinyl, so be careful with that. You'll also have your back part for the strap. You'll have one little accent for the front, and then you'll have a little one for the inside pocket. The top gasset, the top connector, you'll have your two zipper panels. Make sure your notches are still there, and your gasset. A zipper cut to the length given in the pattern. This is for the slip pocket. You'll have your slip pocket as well, a rectangle. The bottom gasset, your two strips of binding prepped for the last step, all the lining for the three panels, front, middle, and back. If you're using woven, you would interface this with the woven interfacing. I'm using water resistant canvas, so I have not interfaced it. You'll also have your two zipper panels. Again, make sure you have your notches. If you didn't add them yet, do it now. Add your notches to the two zipper panels. You'll also need two zipper pulls. You'll need two D-rings that will go on the back panel strap, like so. You'll also need webbing, and I can't say enough good things about this cotton webbing. The Rosie, my first Rosie was the first time I ever wore cotton webbing, and wow, what a difference. I fell in love with cotton webbing. It's so comfortable to wear, and it doesn't slip around, it doesn't slip from the slider. It is so amazing, so comfortable. So I am a cotton webbing supporter right now, through and through. So you'll have this cut 1.5 inch cotton webbing, cut the length of the pattern. The pattern is strapped. You also need a 1.5 inch swivel clasp, a slider that's again 1.5 inch, and you also need a rectangle ring that will go on top here. I don't have rectangle rings in rainbow, so again I'm using what I have. I have a D ring, which will do just fine since I don't have a rectangle ring, but we're good with that. The pattern does call for a rectangle, not a D, but if you only have a D ring, that's fine too. Also, if you only have 1 inch webbing and you don't want 1.5, I do want to tell you that 1.5 is more comfortable when you wear it. You can definitely use 1 inch. So what you will need to adjust is this will have to be 1 inch, this will have to be 1 inch, and this will have to be 1 inch. The only thing is that you might also need to adjust this panel to be a little smaller to accommodate for 1 inch, but other than that you should be good. I also cut my strap ending by hand. I just simply drew it on the piece and cut it with a pair of scissors, like these Kai scissors that are like curved a little bit. I love these scissors. And this will go to on the end of your strap, like so, just to finish it, because cotton does fray and you cannot melt it like you do polyester, so you have to end it somehow pretty. And I think that is all you need. So once you have this pretty pile, make sure that you snap a photo. Oh, I missed saying this so much. Make sure that you snap a photo of your beautiful pile and post it in the day one photo of the Sew Along album. The Sew Along album is in the Backstitch Backroom on Facebook, and I can't wait to see your fabric selection for this Rosie. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!